Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, gratefully recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share with anybody you think might get something out of it. Other than that, hope y'all doing well today, guys. I had a light day today. We'll talk a little more about that. I've been talking about it a lot. I had an opportunity to finally clear up some of the wreckage of my past. It's something I've been working on since August of last year. I had a hearing today with the city of Boston because I've mostly cleared up my out-of-state stuff, and I was able to get the process started here in Massachusetts. And again, I don't have any jail time or any court. It's nothing in the court. It actually all has to do with the registry. But it's stuff that I can't move forward until this is behind me, and I've been thrilled to take care of it. Every time I've attempted to in the past, for one reason or another, I was just straight shut down, whether it was because I didn't have the money or other things open. I did have to sign up for a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna have to do. It's gonna be a huge expense, but like I'm able to. Literally, the lady was preparing me for it today. She's like, you got to pay this all at once. I'm like, ma'am, I'll pay it right now. Recovery is the gift that has allowed me to do all this. And yes, I've got about 2 months worth of back-to-back stuff to do on top of my business, on top of everything I'm doing. But I'm so grateful that I actually can today, that I can actually, I literally get off the phone and she didn't say you can't. She said, here, this is your next step. And I took every one that I could today. I've got all my classes booked, scheduled, and paid for. And over the next 5 weeks or so, I'll take all my classes and I'll move to the next step. And yeah, man, it's good. Like that is such a. And again, it's not over, so it's not a relief yet. But seeing that I'm actually clearing up all of the things that I haven't been able to do for the last 20 years just puts me into the next stage of adulthood and just putting that old life behind me. And again, here we are almost 15 months in, and I'm just getting to this stage of it. And that's okay, guys. Recovery is a process, things don't happen overnight. But any other time in the past, I would get frustrated at, because these things aren't easy, guys. Like literally, there's a lot involved. There's a lot of extra steps, and I would just always throw my hands in the air and get frustrated, saying, "Oh, this is impossible," and not try. And today, no, not try is not even in my vocabulary. I'm gonna do this, and I actually said to the lady, I said, "I understand it's a lot. I have a lot of wreckage in my past. I have to clear it up, but this is something that's very important to me, and I'm gonna get it done regardless of the cost and regardless of the time. So just please." Help me get to my next step, and she appreciated that, and I like that outlook. I know that I like knowing that I can, and I like hanging up with that hearing. And she's like, okay, well, and she didn't shut me down. She's okay. As soon as you get these things done, call us back, and we'll give you the next step. Like even she acknowledged that yes, this is gonna get done, and that's all I need, guys. I don't need easy. I just need possible. And any one of you gotta adopt the same, guys. When we give up and we get frustrated and we throw things away, then we don't get anywhere. You have to know that you can do this. You got to believe that you can, and that again, this goes right back to working a program. And one of the earliest adoptions has got to be your higher power. The way you get closer with your higher power is prayer, whatever your form of prayer looks like. But I've said this probably 1,000 times in these videos. The most important tool that I have adopted, and the one that, because it's literally the one that got me to start believing that I could even attempt recovery, was prayer. At my lowest, when my rock bottom was finally internal, because I could not go on, just like the readings say, guys, I just could not go on living like I was. I turned to prayer, and prayer got me. It wasn't easy, guys. Before you get to the beauty of it, you've got to go through the trenches of your own wreckage. But prayer helped me take every single step. It's the one tool I will not do without. It's the one thing I do. It's my first thought every morning. I start my day in prayer. I end my day in prayer. And then I pray throughout the day, just thanking when good things happen, because a lot of good things happen in my life today. Prayer keeps me plugged in. Anyway, before I do the whole video, let's do the reading. We're gonna go with the daily reflection today. Both readings were incredible, but again, when I saw the title, prayer, I knew, yep, this is my reading for today. Because again, I cannot under stress the importance of prayer in my life today, guys. It's everything to me. So prayer. The title of the reading, the daily reflection reading is prayer. It works, and that's a fact. So prayer. It works. It has been well said that almost the only scoffers at prayer are those who have not tried it enough. Having grown up in an agnostic household, I felt somewhat foolish when I tried praying. I knew there was a higher power working in my life. How else was I staying sober? But I certainly wasn't convinced he, she, or it wanted to hear my prayers. People who had what I wanted said prayer was an important part of practicing the program, so I persevered. With a commitment to daily prayer, I was amazed to find myself becoming more serene and more comfortable with my place in the world. In other words, life became easier and less of a struggle. I'm still not sure who or what listens to my prayers, but I will never stop saying them for the simple reason that they work. And guys, again, like that, as soon as I read that, I'm like, well, absolutely, this is important. I I cannot convey to you enough the difference prayer has made in my life. And again, I love to cap that statement with the fact that if I caught myself, if you flashed me back to 2 years ago when I was still in active addiction and told me that I'd be on YouTube doing recovery videos every day talking about the importance of prayer, I would have let you know that that was not humanly possible. That was not my path. That was not my life. Because for me, it wasn't humanly possible. I needed God to intervene in my life. The only reason I'm sitting in front of this camera right now talking to you guys today is because I said a prayer one night because somebody asked me to. And you know what? Yeah, I won't get into that whole story. But again, it was one of the most important things. I will never forget that person for the rest of my life simply because they gave me the idea to do the most important thing I ever did was pray that night and ask God honestly for help. One thing I'd never done. Every time I had ever prayed, it was just either going through the motions because I thought it was the right thing to do. And again, even in that one, I was doing it to appease somebody else. But once I opened my mouth, I immediately felt a connection with something. And at that point, I was calling myself an atheist in life because, again, I was lying to myself. When I look back honestly at my history, I realized that there were a couple of times in my adult life that I'd said a prayer, and the first one I just talked about recently. The first one was being right after I got out of college. I got myself into a couple of jackpots, and the walls were closing in, and I was really overwhelmed because I just really tried, and I graduated. I went away to Cleveland, Ohio for school, put myself through college. I did disown my mother. I didn't really have much of a family at that point, other than my brothers and my sister. But they were younger anyway. I went through a lot to put myself through school, and a big part of it was I left the state of Massachusetts with like warrants in like 3 counties, and I literally I started school 2 weeks after I graduated high school. So by the time I graduated high school, like I had created such a mess for myself that I had open cases in 4 counties, and I blew them all off and went to school because I knew I needed to, and the school was starting, and I was accepted, and I thought I could clear them up when I got back, and I did because I was in school and I did good things. They forgave me all those, but again, I was still doing reckless behaviors, and I got popped for an OUI within weeks of getting home. And again, I'd only had a beer or two, but I was underage, so it didn't matter. Anything in my system was an OUI, and it was legit. As ridiculous as it was legit. So because of that one being considered, anyway, before long, it was a second and third OUI back to back. I was looking at jail time. I went to school at 17. I went to college. I graduated 17th. Went to college at 17, so I was barely 19 years old. And college graduate, got a great job at a dealership, and boom, my legalities were coming down on me. I was facing jail time for the first time, and I was absolutely terrified. 19-year-old kid looking at going to prison. And when the police, I moved out of town because nobody would know me, and they got my address. They're knocking on my door, and I'm praying to God that night. And I'm like, God, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I need help. And in my mind, it was make it go away, which is just insane. You can't make legalities go away. But the only way to make the warrants go away was to get arrested. And boom, the next day, like literally, I didn't get out of bed the next morning. Cops were at the door, kicked the door, and they arrested me. And I was sitting in the holding facility. I'm like, well, I prayed for it, and here I am. That was quick results, right? Obviously, I believed in the power of prayer. But I got the results I didn't want. I got the right results, but not what I wanted. At least what I didn't think I wanted, so that terrified me. So to keep myself from having that fear of prayer, I developed the belief that there was no God. Like, again, insanity of addiction. But at least I see that now, and I see that by working this program. And and the couple times that I started recovery, I started praying because I knew it was something the program suggested. But it was literally just dropping to my knees and saying the Our Father, and then that was it. Like, I wasn't having a conversation with my higher power, whom I choose to call God. This time it was different, and even in the beginning, it was just asking God for help, and that's important, guys. You got to understand, there when you do things with intention, you get results. I just like this reading says, I have finally looked at my beliefs and see what I believe, and of course I believe there's something controlling all of this. There's a higher power at work. This isn't just random chaos, chance in this universe. There's an underlying law to everything, keeping everything moving, keeping us alive, and making us possible. That to me is God. Now again, my insecurities would want to make me think that I'm so insignificant that God couldn't possibly have, couldn't be bothered to pay attention to me. And yet, when I started to pray, I started to see results. So clearly, and again, who am I to limit God's capacity, right? There's a loving in my higher power, and I can't speak for everybody, but I do encourage you to find yours. Make sure that what you're believing in is a loving, because guys, what you believe, you receive. What you go after, what you seek, you find. My God is a loving, forgiving God, right? And again, I had all those arguments over the years. Well, if there's a God, then why is this, that, and the other? Because we have free will, and there's just laws that govern everything, and some of them have to be harsh. Like, we can't all just be happy and live forever, because we'd never know we were. We wouldn't know the difference, right? So I don't get into all of that, and that's the beauty of it, guys. You don't have to have every answer to believe. But when you believe and then you find the power of prayer, you will receive the power of prayer. And prayer has changed everything in my life for me. It gave me the courage to do what I couldn't do, which was fight drugs, to go to rehab, to start looking honestly at my beliefs, my lives, my way of thinking, to believe that there was hope, and there was a future for me. Guys, I was an active addict and alcoholic for 35 years, stacking losses, and the idea of starting over yet again at 51 years old was absolutely terrifying. I was beat down. I thought I'd done this irreparable damage to my body. I pissed through every connection I had. I'm like, how could this possibly be possible? But again, for once in my life, I prayed on it, and it just kept coming. Get up and do the work. I'll meet you halfway. I started seeing signs and synchronicities everywhere, and just getting downloads and meditation that if I did the effort, there was good in me. And that was where it started, guys, believing in myself. Prayer got me to believe in myself because I saw the power of a higher power at work in my life. That took all the fear right off, because I'm like, okay, well, if I feel like I have the universe, God backing me, then yes, I'm going to go do good things. Now, here's the thing. I also know there's a contingency, and this is what I call being in alignment. I right now have this power of my higher power at work in my life, and he's showing me, because I walked out of there and miraculous things started happening when I did my part, which meant actively trying to be a better person, actively participating in my recovery program, because that was the help I was begging for, that was being offered to me. Now, if I just sat back and expected the recovery group to do the work for me, then I'm not showing gratitude to my higher power. I'm not doing my part of it, guys. Everything is a contingency. If you want to feel like you're walking surrounded by a team of angels like I do every day, then you've got to find the power of prayer. You got to do good things. You got to do the things that are best for you. You got to look at the hard, honest introspection of your life and realize where you've been wrong. And again, don't bury your head in the sand and say, "Oh, I've been bad. I can never be good." But find ways to make amends in general, in specific, like be a better person. Ask God for knowledge of His will for you, and then pray, meditate, whatever your path is. For me, the two things I won't do without prayer and meditation are the most powerful tools I've been given, so I use them daily, and they show me little. And again, it's not always a big light bulb, but all of a sudden I'll get up and I just have my intuition will start leading me in the areas that I have to look at. Or I'll just pay attention to what comes up around me and realize, okay, well, these are messages from my higher power because I am taking good action and I am seeking to do better. And I can't tell you why it works. I'm not capable. But I'm literally walking, living proof that it does. Guys, my life has been miraculously changed. I've been resurrected. I've been reinstated. I've been redeemed in every way, shape, or form. I'm thriving in ways I never thought I would. It doesn't make me better than anybody else, but it makes me a proof of the power of prayer. I am walking, living proof every day that recovery works, this program works, that all of the steps are important, that prayer is the most powerful thing I've ever imagined. And when they say healthy fear, I don't think I have the fear, but other than the fact that I'm afraid to slip back into my old ways of living, for A, I know addiction will kill me, and B, I'm afraid to do anything that would ruin this beautiful relationship that I'm building with my higher power. So I want to show up because, guys, that's why I do the right thing, because it's the right thing to do. It makes me proud of myself, and I know it makes my higher power proud of me, which means the next right opportunity is going to continue to pop up, and I face things as I need to. When this whole thing with the legalities, no, I didn't want to go spend this, I think all told with tallying up today, it's going to be about $18,000 I'm spending. No, I didn't want to do that. That's money I want to buy a house with. But I also knew it came into my morphic field because it was time to take care of it, because my higher power knew I was capable of it, knew I had the financial wherewithal to be able to do it, and knew that, and I trust fully that I'm doing this now because it's going to be important for the next steps that come up, and it only makes sense that it would, right? That's the power of prayer. The power of prayer got me to believe that I could live without drugs, and I've never known how to for 90% of my adult life, or up until just now. But I did, and I showed gratitude by doing good work, by sharing my story honestly and openly with others, to try to make a difference in my community, try to live better, try to eat better, try to be more healthy, to show God that I'm grateful for the restoration He's given me in my life. Guys, it's not hard. I mean, it's not always easy, but it's simple. Do the work. Do it one step at a time. But actively challenge yourself to be a better person, to do something a little bit better every single day. Before long, guys, it compounds in ways you'll never believe. You won't recognize the person you're looking at, but you'll love them. I do. And just like this reading says, I deal with big things, and yet I'm able to do so with calm and serene and in peace and an ease that I've never known. I sleep every night beautifully because I'm out here doing the best I can, and things are getting better and better because I do. Guys, if that's the video for today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.